Okay, now you can.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about aftercare services in Erasmus for young entrepreneurs. That is the meaning of aftercare services in this program. First of all, we're going to let's say have a definition for aftercare services. It's basically a group of services offered to new entrepreneurs to help them launch their own company in sometime in the future, preferably the near future. So it's a set of services, basically. And why are these services important? The new entrepreneurs learning experience through the I program usually takes place in a different, in another country other than the home country. And in that other country, there are different market conditions. So coming back to the home country, the new entrepreneur has to adapt the market requirements of his country. And therefore, these services will enable him to start operating within his home market. Why the intermediary organizations is important to offer such services? Well, these services they have a lot of add-on on the services that the IOs currently provide. And we'll go into more detail of these benefits. First of all, aftercare services have an add-on value to the I program. This means that they prove that I is a good starting point for a young entrepreneur to start. And therefore, after the end of the period within I, then there is the entrance to the real market. So these services are probably the next point after the learning experience of a new entrepreneur. The second thing is that these services, they boost the importance of the I alumni program because basically a young entrepreneur, a new entrepreneur wants to network within the market and outside the market. Therefore, the alumni offer him a good networking place where he can meet more professionals within his area of interest. The third point is that it strengthens the IO's reputation in I. These services, they continue, it's the aftermath of the I program. That means that after the new entrepreneur repatriates, he needs to enter the market, the home market, and therefore the IOs, they have the relationship with the new entrepreneur, and they will enter him into the real market. The fourth point is that these services can be a good differentiating point among the competition that the IOs the IOs face within their home market. It's true that many of us have, in our countries, we have more than one IO representing the I program, and all IOs are claiming more new entrepreneurs. These services can be used to differentiate from that competition among IOs of the same country. And the last point is that these services are a new product for the IOs. They can be used to sell more consulting or training services in order to successfully launch their company. So what are these aftercare services after all? What do they mean to the new entrepreneur? They can affect basically the startup's business strategy. It can also contribute to networking. They can refer to business opportunities. They can give him ideas, or give her ideas about access to funding. And also they can contribute to the business setup. We'll look into this bigger, let's say, segments in more detail. Starting from the business strategy, the IOs can offer such services in order to embed sustainability into the new startup. This means that they can help the new entrepreneur launch a company, looking after the financial aspect of the business, looking also after the environmental and social responsibility of the new enterprise. Also, they can the IOs can help the new enterprise to integrate more technology into its operations. It can also help them maintain integrity and professionalism by mingling and by meeting professionals of some caliber. It can also help the new entrepreneur cultivate a culture of innovation, meaning that a new enterprise can also look into new areas of products. And also they can give him education of the market, meaning the new conditions, the conditions within the market, the regulations, access to governmental offices, licensing, etc. The second thing about aftercare services, they can refer to networking. A new enterprise needs networking in order to bring its products or services to the market. And therefore, the IOs who offer the services can help the new enterprise meet new collaborators, find ways to generate more referrals, also increase confidence of the startup in the market, seek more opportunities for new products, for new ventures, also promote a business profile in order to gain respect within the market, find ways to connect with institutions, with government offices, with maybe collaborations outside the country, and also take the new enterprise into the market in order to meet substantial players, in order to take advice regarding the operations of the new setup. The other thing that IOs can do is to offer aftercare services related to business opportunities. They can always show the new entrepreneur new markets, discuss with him new products, give him more exposure through participation in conferences, in special meetings, and also give him the way to find to reach more profit, and also give him incentives to innovate in terms of funding, in terms of access to equipment, through collaborations within the market. A very important aspect for a new enterprise is access to funding, and this way they can materialize their business ideas. So the IOs can offer him sources of funding through banks or through subsidies. Also, they can lead them to incubators where they can be incubated and until all things fall into place. They can also give them, show them the way to accelerators in order to accelerate their startups, show them ways to find investors, and also within the market, there are at certain points subsidy opportunities for startups or for specific segments of the operations, like purchasing new equipment or materializing a project. These subsidy schemes are available either from national funding or from co-funding with the European Union. Also, a very important thing for a startup, it's how to organize the business. So the IOs can help the new startup define the roles of the different people within the startup by creating job descriptions, by helping the startup create a branding within the enterprise. Maybe at some point, certain operations can be outsourced in order to help focus on the core business. And of course, find offices at reasonable rent, and or probably co-hosted at co-working spaces. That's all there is about to say about Aftecare services. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, be very glad to answer them.
Thank you so much, Christos, for this webinar. If there are any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Please, Manos.
Yes.
Yes, Manos.
Yes, Christo, for how long usually the aftercare services take place after the completion of an exchange?
You mean how long after the expiration of the term? How long they last?
Yes, approximately from your experience.
Yeah. Okay, usually entrepreneurs after the end of the term, they start thinking seriously about materializing their business plan. Usually, it is the term depends on how fast they want to move forward. It all depends on the speed that the new entrepreneur wants to give to his materialization of his business plan. So I would say it will take between 1 to 3 years before the startup feels confident enough to stand on its own feet.
Thank you, Christoph.
You're welcome.
Some other questions? No. Well, so I think we can close the webinar. Thank you so much to all the participants, and thanks, Christos, for the presentation.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Christos.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day all.
Guys. Bye.
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 Bye.